Hi YouTube, it's Diane again. I thought I would do a quick small haul and a tag and also show progress on my whips. What I did, you guys have been talking about needle minders, and that is something I haven't used. So you piqued my interest, and I looked at my cross stitch store, and I just thought they were too expensive, especially since I didn't know if I'd really like using them. They were $10, $20, and I thought, what if I don't like them? So I found a webpage on Facebook. There's a woman on there named Cherise Smith, and I'll put her information in the link below. She makes scissor fobs, froggers, and needle minders. She makes sets, but then you can also buy the individual pieces. So I thought, okay, I'll buy some from her, and I felt her prices were very reasonable. Shipping, to me, her shipping starts at $2.50 in the US, and I emailed her or messaged her my zip code, and shipping was only $3.50 to me. When I opened the package, I originally thought it was something my husband had ordered because our PayPal is through him, and he said, no, that's what you ordered. Oh, yeah, I had totally forgotten about it. When I opened the package, I bought 4 needle minders, and the packaging was beautiful. She had taken each little needle minder and had made, out of tissue paper, she'd made little envelopes. And I did take a picture, and I'm going to try and figure out how to post pictures on here, but I took a picture, and it was just so cute to see the individual. She didn't just throw something in a bag. She really took the time to individually package each little needle minder. So each of those it's pink, because I believe that's kind of her signature color. And she wrapped each needle minder, made it look like a little envelope, little washi tape on there. And then each needle minder was packaged like this. Excuse me. In a little tool bag, and inside the bag there were little zippy bags. I love zippy bags. But these, so each one is individually packaged, and then she also sent them each on a thread bobbin, and I use thread bobbins, so I appreciate these. But what I bought is, I bought this one. I love dragonflies, so this one I really thought, if I'm going to do 4 projects in my rotation, I need 4 needle minders. And I really like this. If I don't like them as a needle minder, I will find another use for them, because they are just beautiful. I love I believe it's hydrangeas in there, and the antique look. I really like that. So that was one of them. Also, there was the grapes. When I redid my kitchen, it's 10 years ago now, I really used grapes a lot in my kitchen. I like the antique look to these again, so I love the colors in this one. And then she had this beautiful butterfly, and green is my favorite color, and I love the music notes in the background. I used to play violin, and I love the roses and the green. I always appreciate really good music. But this is the one that made me fall in love with her needle minders and actually purchase them. And again, it's another dragonfly. I really like dragonflies and frogs, owls and lizards. Yes, I am a mom of 10 boys, can you tell? But I love the music in the background. It's just, these are beautiful. She does a lot of different ones, but these are the ones that caught my eye. So I bought 4 of them. And so I will put her information below. These are really good magnets, as you can tell. So they're good quality. Also, the service was really fast. I PM'd her, asked her a few questions before I ordered, and she answered all my questions. She does do a regular job with odd hours, so sometimes If you PM her, it may take a little longer to get a response, but she is really good at responding and answering all your questions. And I was so impressed. I mean, the packaging and that personalization in our kind of fast industrialized world, we kind of miss that. And I'm so glad she did that. So that was a little haul. And I also, in my last video, I asked if anybody knew a good way that we could store our Kreiniks. So I tried some different things, and it worked, but I wanted something better. I think I found it. I think I found what is going to work for me. I went to Cabela's. Cabela's is a hunting, fishing, outdoor store, for those of you who are not familiar with the brand. And I went to the ammunition section of the store, and I bought an ammunition box. That's what this is. So a hunter would put their bullets in here. When you store ammunition, it's nice that they don't touch because it can lead to rust. And this is nice and tall to store different sizes. But that is what I wanted for my Kreinik. Each spool is in its own little box. So you can see right here, I had to remove this one for a project, but they're not rolling all over the place. I have them in numerical order, so it's easy for me to find. These are all my number 4s. I actually bought 3 of these. I was waiting for the woman to ask me why I bought 3 of them, but she didn't. And I'm sure that would have been an interesting response to say, no, I'm going to store my cross-stitch supplies in them. I'm sure that would have been an interesting, maybe she's heard it before. I don't know. But I found this idea, and I bought one. This one's for my number 4 Kreiniks. I have another one for just blending filaments. And I have one for, I have a few number 8s, 12 braid, 16 braid. I have an ombre, but there are some Kreinik spools that are wider. I have a couple of those, so they don't fit in the little squares, but because there's such this area right here, I laid them on their side. I only have 2 of them. I bought them years ago to do it on a project, and I used them. Of course, there was a lot left over, and I don't remember exactly which project it was, but it's something I might use again. I think it's the 1/16 ribbon or the 1/12 ribbon, but the spools are wider, so they don't fit in here. But this size, this is, they call it a single ammo box, 50, so it holds 50 in here. 414 clear WSM. I saw this on a blog. She used 20 gauge ammo boxes for hers, and that's, I think, what this one is. They did have a 20 gauge right next to these. It only held 25. As you can see, I have an extensive collection, but I use number 4 braid more than any of my others. That only held 25, and when I tried to compare the size of the squares between the two, and they were very, very, very close. So these might be just a shade smaller, but that was a blog, and I will try and find the reference to that blog so I give her proper credit. Because when I saw her idea, I thought, that's what I've been looking for. So if this doesn't work for me in the long term, we are a hunting family. My husband, my sons, and even our middle daughter, who got her deer this year, on the first or second day. So she's been a good hunter these last couple of years. They'll use them. But this is the Cabela's brand. These were $4. And so I thought, for something like this, it's a good hard plastic. It's not a cheap plastic. I'm going to be using this for a long time, so I felt that was a good investment. It latches really well. Now there is some head space here, so if I tipped them, they'd all fall, but they all go right back into their slots. That's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. And then I took my label maker. I love my label maker, as does Carolyn in Australia. And I put Kreinik number 4 braid. I have another box just for blending filaments, which I have about this many blending filaments. And then the third box has cord, cable, the number 8s, the number 12s. I don't have very many of those different ones, so I thought I'll just put them together in one box. And it'll work great for me. So these, I think this is what I've been looking for. If you do not have a Cabela's by you, a Gander Mountain, a Walmart, Mills Fleet Farm, anywhere that kind of sells ammunition, or possibly online. I'm sure online there are a couple of different places. My husband, when I mentioned this idea to him, he mentioned a couple of different websites, but I found it at Cabela's. And this is actually the Cabela's brand. WSM must be the line. It's right here. I know you can't see it, but this is clear. I can look down. I can see if I have a number. And when I sorted my spools, I discovered that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the exact same spool. So obviously this will help me to avoid getting too many duplicates. Sometimes you want more than one spool in a project, but yeah, 4, I think that's a wee bit much. So I look forward to using these. So I found what I was looking for. I also have somewhat of a finish on my works in progress. I have red right here. Now, I have all of the stitching done. I do not have the back stitching. I just finished this yesterday. Got to this step. I do not have the back stitching or the beads on, but in my mind, because of the size of the project, and she's so detailed and she's just gorgeous, this is a mini finish to me. So it's all the stitching, and hopefully you can see. I've done all, zoom out here so you can see the whole thing. So all the stitching is done. What I'll do now is I will do the back stitching, and then I will press it because I stitch in the hand. I don't use a frame or a hoop or a quick snap. I find this easier for me. Although I do have a project coming up, I will be using a scroll frame to see if I like it or not. But I'll press it from the back carefully, and then I will put the beads on. So I have my tacky bob, one of my favorite tools for beading. You have a sticky side on here and here, and you can put your beads. Just put some. I put a little puddle of beads. So on this one she has black and red and gold, I believe. So I'd put a little puddle of black, a little puddle of red, a little puddle of gold. And then if I am done for the evening, I'll close it up. The beads will stay. This tackiness, it sticks around for a long time. I've literally had this one for years, so it works great. I do not bead when my children are awake. I learned that a long time ago. Don't ask me how, but I did. So I am very pleased with this project. And she will be done soon. But I literally just finished her the stitching yesterday. And so it's getting to the point I have to pick up my new project. So I picked up another one of my whips. I didn't do much on Persephone this month. I did a little, but not a lot on her. The The idea of rotating through your projects is new to me. I'm getting used to it. But here is Cherish by Just Nan. This is where I was at when I started. I hope you can see that. I will try and put this picture in to the actual video. I haven't figured that all out yet, so I'm going to try. And here is where I'm at now. Her face is 1/1, one strand over one, sorry. There we go. And this is 28 count. Jobelin Cameo Peach is the color, so it's just a hint of a pink. And I am turning it the wrong way. There we go. There are some specialty stitches in it. I love these ones down here. These specialty stitches down here. It almost looks like there's beads on there, but there aren't. It's done in pearl cotton. And the stitch is called a tied cross. And it is really pretty. What I have left on here is there is one Kreinik number 4 braid to add some more back stitching, and then the beads. And that's all I have left on her. So I should be able to get her done. I'm actually working on her this week, so I should be able to get her done, hopefully. You know, life never throws you for a loop at all. But Persephone, I didn't really do a lot on. A few hundred stitches, but you couldn't tell. I did not work on the carousel horse. I'm waiting to start that. I really want to finish these 2 pieces and then start the carousel horse. Now that I have the fabric and I have the fibers, I have everything ready together. Excuse me, and I'm going to start the Mirabilia Stitch Along. I'm going to do Venetian Opulence, like I showed in a previous video in January, so I have that start coming up. I have my youngest son's birth announcement that I'm going to start in the next month, and I have everything for that. I don't have my fabric for the black work yet, but I have all the fibers and beads ready to go. I'm toying with the idea of trying to figure out what color I would like to stitch it on. It's hard to pick the color because you want to have a good project when it's said and done. So I haven't made that decision yet. I wanted to do the Stitchy Moose. He had a tag from one of his videos, and it had 3 questions, so I thought I would answer those questions. His first question was, what is the story behind your screen name? And I did tell the story in my first video, but I'll repeat it. When I was about 2 or 3, we lived on a ranch in the middle of nowhere, essentially, small ranch, and we had a stray dog. He showed up, or a relative brought him to us. In that situation, it's nice to have a good watchdog, and his name was Dud, and he followed me everywhere. He would not let me get in trouble, and I did want to get in trouble. He would literally stand in front of me and wouldn't let me go in an area that he knew was not safe for me. And looking back, that was a good thing, but at the time it annoyed me. But I could not say, come on, Dud, or move, Dud, or I just couldn't say his name. Being a 2-year-old, I couldn't say it, but I could say Mondot. And that dog followed me everywhere, and pretty soon he would not answer to Dud. He only answered to Mondot. So that is where Mondot, the name, comes from. And Mondot Stitches, I thought it was unique. It was still personal to me. And I have fond memories of Dud. We had a blizzard, and we lived in a ranch house with windows that went about a foot off the floor, way up, like 6 foot, 8 foot, whatever it was. And we had a blizzard, and it snowed us in. So on those windows, you only had the top 12 to 18 inches. Everything else was just snow. Because it was in South Dakota, prairie, there's not a lot to block the snow. And Dud, or Mondot, came out from, he was an outside dog, he was not an inside dog. He came out from his hidey hole when the blizzard was over, and he came and he crawled all the way up there and looked in the window to make sure that everybody was okay. He saw myself, my mom, my brother. Okay, everybody's good. Then he went back to where he slept. So he was a good dog. Number 2, what else do you like? What do you like to listen to when you stitch? I do like to have something going on in the background. With 13 children, often it's them. But I will listen to TV or movies when I stitch. We don't do broadcast TV. We do Netflix and things from the laptop type of thing. If they're playing Xbox or something, I can stitch. I also watch YouTube videos when I stitch too. Or I listen to books on tape, audiobooks, I guess is the correct term now. I listen to some of those. LibriVox has a good, you can download them for free. And I also listen to some radio programs, kind of talk radio type of things, or sermons that I may have missed out on, that type of thing, where I can have some talk going on, but I don't have to be engaged, because that will distract me from my counting. And I don't like to frog. But I do like to listen to things, have some music going on in the background. Some could be talking. Sometimes I don't want talking, so I just put Pandora on and call it good. I like the piano guys, their music. I like the classics, Tchaikovsky and Bach and Beethoven and Copland and Dvorak. The pieces that I played in orchestra or all-state orchestra, kind of an elite orchestra that we had, those type of things, they bring back really good memories. Favorite traditions for the holiday season? Well, we don't celebrate Halloween, so you could say that the holiday season starts there. We do a pizza movie night. That's a tradition, and it's interesting because one year we were thinking of not doing it, and the kids said, "Mom, we have to do the pizza in the movie." So that's what we do on the 31st of October. For Thanksgiving, we have the traditional meal, and we do not get our Christmas tree. I have to agree with Stitcher Moose. We do not get our Christmas tree out. We might get it out Thanksgiving Day or maybe the week before, because deer season is about that time of year here in Minnesota. So as they put the hunting gear up, they'll get the Christmas stuff down type of thing. But we won't set up anything until after Thanksgiving. We might do it on Thanksgiving Day or the day after. Depends on what else is going on. But that's what we do. And our Christmas tree, we do an artificial one with so many little children. Having a real tree, no. I mean, I love the smell of a real tree and everything, but right now, this works for us. And we keep our tree up until New Year's or shortly after. It depends on, again, one year we were traveling or something, so we put it down earlier, and different things happen. Other traditions we have is every year I buy my children a Hallmark keepsake ornament, and so everybody gets to put their ornaments on the tree. And I don't have any other ornaments on the tree besides those and ones that the kids have made over the years. Sometimes I'll cross-stitch ornaments, and I'll put those. I have some still in my collection. One year when we had people visiting during the holiday season, I gave them a handmade ornament as a memento of that fellowship time. So I don't remember how many I had, 6 or 10. And they could choose one just to kind of commemorate that and hang it on their tree if they wanted to. And if they didn't want to, that was fine. But I did that one year. I haven't done that in a while. I should probably plan ahead a little better. Other traditions, our children draw names, and on Christmas Eve they can open their sibling gift. So we take pictures of the child giving the gift to the recipient and opening it and everything. We also, it's not a free-for-all on Christmas morning. First of all, we have lost things in all the wrapping paper and the packaging and everything that's involved. So, yeah, we don't do that anymore. We sometimes will have 3 people open up their gift at the same time because it's usually the same thing, but different colors or some personalization. But we try and every person, as they're opening a gift, we're watching to see what they received, and it makes the whole opening of gifts longer, but it's more enjoyable that way. It's more relaxed. I think it's more relaxed because I'm not worried. Personally, I'm not worried about, did they lose this in the wrapping paper, especially if there's a gift certificate or something like that. Yeah, we've lost a few of those, unfortunately, over the years. But then if it's something that has 3 parts, we can make sure that the 3 parts get put over here and the wrapping paper gets put over there. And my husband is very specific on, as soon as it's unwrapped, the wrapping paper has to go in the garbage. So that's an easier way to do it. And with the young ones, it helps them really be involved, and they can see what everybody's receiving and laugh. Oh, we have some good laughs, and it's a good time when we open up our gifts. Other traditions. We usually do not watch the Macy's parade because we don't have broadcast TV. And quite frankly, the last one we watched, we were not impressed. For various reasons, and we'll just leave it there. But other traditions, we do an Advent tree, and every day from December 1st to December 24th, I made these little gift boxes, and I've done gift bags. And we open one, and we hang an ornament on the tree, and it tells us the Christmas story. We also read from Arnold, I cannot say his last name, Ytreeide, I think? Ytreeide? Yeah, Jotham's Journey, Bartholomew's Passage, and Tabitha's Travels. We read one of those a year, and you read part of the story, and then the next night you read another part, and there's a bad guy, and there's humor, but we read that too. We also try and listen to a certain Christmas hymn on a certain day with our Advent tree. So when you put the angels on the Advent tree, we're listening to Angels We Have Heard on High. You put the manger on, Away in the Manger. It was a Christmas tree set that I purchased, and I don't know. I tried to find the reference because I bought it at a bazaar, a craft bazaar, and I still can't find the reference. But we do that every year, and it's fun. Different child gets to hang it on the tree, and the different symbols and everything. We talk about it. Other Christmas things. We, for the last few years, have been making goodies for my parents and my husband's dad, because they don't have to make 15 dozen cookies, where we can make 15 dozen cookies and give them some and give them some and then have our own. So we've been doing that as a tradition, and they've really appreciated it, especially our our cinnamon popcorn. I like caramel corn, but this cinnamon trust me, stitching and that cinnamon popcorn, I can eat the whole bowl myself. It is so good. But other traditions, we really try and slow down at Christmas time. Try and limit how many activities we're doing and how many this and that and another thing. Our kids do a Christmas recital for their piano and guitar, and we'll be doing that again this year. And we do a Christmas Eve service at church, but we really, really try and limit how many gazillion things we're doing, just really to focus on the reason for the season, which is Christ. And for us, that's really, really important. So that's a good tag, Mr. Moose. If you haven't watched Mr. Stitcher Moose and his videos, yes, he does ramble. I do too. But they're enjoyable. And it's nice to see a man who likes to stitch, who likes to work with his hands, because studies have shown that your stress goes down when you work with your hands, no matter what it may be. And my oldest son is a knitter, and he's a designer, and he just had a an article. He was interviewed and everything for a knitting, I'm not sure if it's a magazine or a blog, but he had that. So he's launching his design company thing. So yeah, having our boys keep their hands busy, trust me, it helps on road trips and just trips to the grocery store, because you don't have Mom, he's looking at me anymore. They're working with their hands and doing something creative. But I think that's all I have for now. I had did a tape on previous finishes that I've done. I didn't like the video, so I'm going to redo that one to show and share. Especially my favorite piece I have ever stitched was in that video, but the sound got garbled and I didn't like it. So I will redo that one. But until that time, have a good Thanksgiving if you're in America, and if you're not, have a good November until I put another video together, and we will see you again in December for sure. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Thank you for subscribing. I'm really enjoying this FlossTube community. I love watching your videos, and it's refreshing to just talk with others about this craft. And I will see you soon. And until then, have a good stitching day, week, month. Have fun stitching.